ironically enough, as much as I just love dressing like I'm from the 50s because they had great clothes.
This is true.
But it's actually partially an irony too, because tonight I'm going to tell you a poem that I wrote myself about freedom of thought. See, when I was in Persuasion or Propaganda last year, which for all you prospies is an amazing class, you should all take it. It's phenomenal. Crazy, but it just like makes you think in such a different way. Definitely take it. We were talking about how it's the little things that really, even though in theory we have freedom of speech and we have all these freedoms in this country, every little thing, every part of our society is structured in such a way that encourages us to have certain thought patterns. Not necessarily that we all have the same thoughts all the time, that would be ridiculous. But the point is, there are certain tendencies that we have in society. I mean, think about patriarchy, think about racism, all of these terrible things. Partly because of the way society is set up and is ingrained in our minds. And I was thinking, when does this happen more than in the educational system? You're taught to write a good paper. Sometimes you have to write what your teacher or your professor thinks is best in order to get a good grade. But yet, that's actually kind of a form of persuasion. So, just saying, interesting thought. Anyway, without further ado, here is my poem that I wrote last semester in response to those thoughts. Freedom of thought. Freedom of thought in an educator's land is a non-existent argument of how to stop dissent. The peace that I know is only in my mind. It's a self-absorbed, underrated, overstated kind of agitated. My mind is racing past walls I'm chasing, breaking down. Education? It's cancellation. There's a temptation of negation with the translation of creation to dictation. What's this I'm saying? We demand uniform creative work. Can't stop to think or change, and I can't move. There's a fixation on the art of sitting still. No thoughts allowed. It's deprivation in a world so stuck on regulation. We demand the strongest, the fastest, to be the best above the rest. You can't consent to dissent or realize the prize is not the path you seek. We're no more than the board that we're taken for. The score stopped, or swapped, their minds are changed to clay. I'd like to speak of what I seek, but there's nothing more to say.